Point is isolation. Now, when a man is insecure, when they are really insecure, they isolate their wife from friends and family so that they can rule, they can dominate them. All these things they are learned from as a child growing up. You see your father doing certain things, you feel it's the norms, and you repeat them. It's a pattern you to follow. That's how my dad brought up the family. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Family do well when they associate. People learn from each other when they associate. When you isolate a family, you're killing the family. You're starving them dry of nutrient. It's even worse for the kids. There are things they should learn by associating. They lose out on that. You see, some of them now start having inferiority complex. Some have personality disorders, so on and so forth. You need to integrate families. It helps. It really helps. It will help your family. It will help them balance. There won't be areas where they lack. But when you pull them out from the society or you isolate them, you are creating an imbalance for them. Another point is when a man is, I won't say when a man is not educated, but I realize the man, the one that publicly disgraced his wife, is a lawyer, is educated. But most times they are not aware, or they are blinded intentionally. They just decide not to pay credence to these things. Some men are like that. They can just decide to shut down that which is very important. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Bring happiness in the family. That which will make the family thrive. They just feel when you give them chance, some crazy things they say out there. Another point you need to understand for men abusing women is the fact that there's poor communication. Earlier on, I was talking about communication, active listening, and as in generously expressing yourself. It is when men cannot express themselves, maybe because of the complex they feel, the best way they handle that is, okay, when you are an expressive woman and you always want to express yourself, and the man is someone who is withdrawn for whatsoever reason, you find out when you keep expressing yourself, sometimes you pick offense because of their own inability to express themselves or their feeling. And the next thing, the result is abuse. Now, you need to understand the fundamental role of communication in relationship. Even when it's difficult for you to express yourself, it's good you try and talk to your partner to see or feel what you're going through. No matter how that sounds difficult, it's something you can do. It's something you sit down and let them feel your pain. It is only when you let them feel the pain by expressing yourself, they can empathize with you. It's not by, maybe the head or pumping up your fist. You can always talk about it. Always, always. It might not always go the way you plan, but always know. Talking about it helps a lot. You can sit your partner, express yourself, and I believe they will come through for you instead of the banters and beating, instead of the verbal abuse. Sometimes you do these things not because of you, but because of your kids. Don't forget you're a role model. They look up to you. Your kids are proud of you. There's a way you come across to them. And the day you destroy that picture, you've destroyed them. So excuse me, sometimes you do things because not for your own benefit really, but for the people who you are their leader. You are the head. The head that carries the anointing, the head that carries the crown. You need to know all those things. So when you come to that point where you feel like lashing out, pause, step back, and talk to the man in you. Talk to the man in the mirror. That's not the best way. You see, when you're open to conversations, when you're open to dialogue, it's easy for people to approach you. I try not to be easily irritable. Try always controlling your anger. I think the biggest point is anger. Some men are just too angry about everything. I understand how the society is right now. Things are not adding up. But then you cannot excuse yourself that you are an intelligent lover. You are a smart lover. You cannot. It's not acceptable. It's not. What is expected of you is to bring up the family in the light of greatness, in the light of which you, if you are your son is your father, he'll be so proud. You should understand that every action speaks even to the future of your kids. So you need to be cognizant of this and slow down. Learn to manage your anger. Learn to manage your pride. Always know the shirt you wear is one that nobody, when you pull it down, nobody can wear it because you are an intelligent lover. Your shoes are so too big for anybody that tries to enter it because you are a great man. That's why they are proud of you. Don't lose that greatness. The next point is when there are financial crises, when there are financial stress, maybe the job is not doing well, it's not paying well, the family is growing large, the money is not enough, or you've lost your job. When there are pressures like this on the man, sometimes abuse is inevitable. I'm particularly disturbed by the financial stress because it will always be there. As the family is growing, even when the family is not growing, there are needs that are chasing us daily. You get a letter from the school that the school fee of your child has been increased, and you have like 3 of them in that school. That's pressure. Your salary had not planned for that. They don't plan your salary based on how things will be in future. So what does that tell you? The stress from your finances will always be there. But you as a man need to create a shock absorber for yourself, which can be easily done with the help of your partner. But if you allow it rule you, you'll always be beating up your wives. So we need to be careful how we allow certain kind of stress get us into committing that which is a sacrilege to marriage. When because of what marriage itself represents. It represents a heavily gift that, if you go through the scripture from he who finds a wife finds a good thing to the blessings of God on marriage, where he declared that you should dominate, you should produce and dominate the earth, you should rule. Come on. I don't see anywhere where it says you can beat your wife if you're angry or one thing. I just don't get it. Now, I remember a long time ago, I watched a wedding, I watched a wedding on TV. It was between is this Sirius Toba? Yeah, I think Sirius Toba, the NTA newscaster then, very intelligent guy. And they gave him a bow and arrow, I think with a sword. I'm not very sure again. This is a very long time, over 10 years ago, I believe. And he was demonstrating with it, and they asked him the significance of that. And I might miss word here and there, but I think in a nutshell, he said it's to protect his family from attack from outside. They forgot to tell him that even attack from inside too. You understand? Now, from attack from outside, they gave him bow, an arrow, and a sword. That's just one culture. If you go through cultures in Nigeria, there's something they give. In some culture, they give you bow. Excuse me. I don't know, but I believe that is. I think the Bashama. I don't know if it's Sirisoba is from Adama also. I don't know. But in Plateau State, they have what they give. I think in Benue State, they have what they give you too. It's all in. It's all meant for you to protect your family. Is this the culture we are talking about that give man an edge over the woman? But they still tell you that you should protect your family. In fact, when you go to the parents, your wife's parents, they will tell you should not punish their, you should not suffer their daughter, you should not do this, you should not do that. That's to tell you they have it in mind that look, you should your sole purpose is to protect, not to beat up. Anyway, that being said, I just hope, I really hope some of these things make sense to us. I mean, the way the society is going, everything is looking like we are losing hope. I mean, when you look at, thank God, they show videos online where you see, I always love this, the way this, that, I don't know, is it Goskolo or what, I don't know. And you see I saw somebody myself, the guy was eating, and he freezed from dishing the food and taking it to his mouth. If the guy freezed. Now my friends used to make jest of one of their friend that he wanted to give somebody water. When he collected the water and passed it, at the cost of passing it, the hand was in the air. That is where he slept off. Drug abuse, substance abuse. Now, think about it. Some things we do as parents open door to so many vices that destroy the lives of our kids. It takes the grace of God for some children to overcome. Like I said, we don't have any place a child can go for counseling. They are lucky in the Western world. They have where they do cognitive behavioral therapy for kids like that. We don't have that in Nigeria. We don't. And the government don't have time for such things like that. It is down to the parent to do that. Back then in schools, we have counselors, but they were not even for counseling children on things like this. It's for helping you choose how to organize your subject so that you can move on to the university without having problem choosing for sciences and art. The church, I don't know. So we need to be conscious of these things we do at home. We need to be very, very conscious. Know deeply that your kids are watching you, and everything you do is a foundation for them to follow through. In fact, they follow in your footstep. It will cost nothing to love with all your life and heart. It will cost you nothing to let go of some things. It will cost you nothing to sit your wife down and say, look, this is not right. Let them air their own view. You never can tell. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, please, remember to subscribe, hit the like button. If there's anything you want to share with us, you can send us a message in our box. And if you have your own way of managing crisis at home that it helps not to cause problem for you, your wife, your kids, you can share so that we can help other people. We need to be sharing, we need to be sharing things like this out. Some people don't even know how to handle crisis at home. They believe the best thing to do is that we have poor anger management in this country. It just, I mean, come on. So please, thank you once again.